be okay. He just doesn't want to adjust his seat.
True.
His fancy seat.
Yeah, we'll swap it out.
But if I put my tiny girl seat, maybe.
Metal crunches, tires screech, a wall of smoke billows into the night sky. In a split second, Adam LZ's 1,000 horsepower drift car is crumpled against a concrete barrier. Silence. Then roaring cheers from the crowd. They've just witnessed the spectacular climax of a Formula Drift run. Adam climbs out, arms raised to signal he's okay. On the outside, he's smiling nervously at the fans. Inside, he's never felt more shattered. This isn't just the story of a crash on the track. It's the tipping point of years of pressure, sacrifice, and unseen battles. It's the moment the world glimpsed the dark side of building his empire. Welcome back to Tuna No Crust, the largest car TV show news on YouTube. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's roll. Before the tire smoke and roaring engines, Adam Lizotte Zeisler was just a kid with a BMX bike and a video camera. Growing up in small-town Connecticut, he chased adrenaline on 2 wheels, perfecting tricks and sharing them on YouTube. His channel exploded in popularity as young Adam, known online as Adam LZ, became a BMX sensation with an infectious smile. By 2015, he had a massive following watching his every bunny hop and tail whip, but Adam's dreams were bigger than the bike. He had gasoline in his veins. The evolution from BMX YouTuber to motorsport figure was beginning, and it would change everything. At first, it was innocent. A few car project videos sprinkled among the BMX edits. Adam's passion for cars, especially drifting, pulled him in a new direction. He bought a humble Nissan 240SX as his first drift car and started learning to slide. It was a risky pivot. Would his BMX fans follow him into the world of burning rubber and roll cages? Adam poured his heart into merging these worlds, sometimes literally loading his BMX in the back of his drift car for a video. Slowly but surely, the audience grew even bigger. By the time he was in college, Adam LZ had become the name bridging action sports and car culture on YouTube. He was building an empire, and he had no idea how much weight that crown would carry. Adam's rise wasn't just on screen, it was behind the scenes as well. In 2016, fresh out of teen years, he married his longtime girlfriend Nicole and moved to sunny Central Florida to expand his dreams. With that move came the launch of his merch and automotive parts brand LZMFG, a play on LZ manufacturing. Orders started flooding in from fans worldwide who wanted a piece of the lifestyle Adam was living. At the same time, Adam partnered with friends to grow Drift HQ, a new venture supplying drift car parts. Suddenly, this young YouTuber wasn't just filming cool videos, he was a CEO, a team boss, and a brand visionary all at once. The pressure was immense. By day, he'd be managing merchandise designs, customer service emails, and inventory for LZMFG, sometimes printing shirts and packing orders himself in the early days. By afternoon, he'd be on calls about Drift HQ's latest product line or an upcoming drift event sponsorship, and by night, he was in the garage, wrenching on his cars, filming energetic vlog updates for millions of subscribers. Then came the editing, often into the wee hours of the morning, eyes aching at the computer screen as he pieced together the next video. He barely slept. The phrase running on fumes became his reality. Adam's car builds were becoming more ambitious. 800 horsepower engines, custom fabrication, tight deadlines to unveil them at events. Each build was content for the channel and a magnet for business, but also a ticking clock of stress. If an engine blew or a part didn't arrive in time, it meant an all-nighter and a potential hit to his reputation. Adam was doing what he loved, but day by day he could feel the burnout looming. At 22, Adam had all the energy in the world, until one day, he didn't. The constant grind of filming, building, and managing an empire began to dull the spark. There were mornings he'd wake up exhausted before the day even began, overwhelmed by a checklist that never ended. How could he complain though? He was living every car enthusiast's dream. To the outside world, Adam LZ was the tire-shredding superstar who turned passion into a paycheck. Privately, he was exhausted, afraid to hit the brakes in case everything he'd built came crashing down. To keep viewers hooked and business booming, Adam pushed his limits. He organized huge drift meets and started an event called LZ Invitational, bringing top drifters from around the globe to his own playground. Speaking of playground, he even bought a 30-acre compound in Florida, complete with multiple buildings, garages, and a personal drift track. It was an automotive paradise where he could film endless content and store his ever-growing collection of cars. But owning a dream compound meant giant bills, constant maintenance, and the responsibility of essentially running a small village of gearheads. The stakes were officially sky high. Everything Adam did now was on a grand scale, and there was no easy escape from the pressure. In his videos, we saw the high-octane highs. Adam ripping around his compound's drift track in a supercharged Mustang, laughing with friends as tire smoke rolled past sunset. We saw him set personal bests on the dyno, unveil stunning new car builds, even take podiums at local drift competitions. Adrenaline and optimism fueled these moments, and Adam lived for that rush. Those were the times the stress felt worth it, but when the cameras turned off, heartfelt lows crept in. Imagine the quiet after a YouTube upload went live. The shop empty, tools scattered from the frantic thrash to meet the upload deadline. Adam would sit on a tire stack, scrolling through comments alone in the still night. Many were positive, but inevitably he'd find the negativity. Your content isn't what it used to be. You've changed, bro. Or must be nice to have money to do anything. Some even attacked his character or spread rumors about his personal life. He tried to shrug it off, but every so often a comment hit a nerve on an already bad day. The mental toll of public life was adding up. He started to realize that no matter how hard he worked or how genuine he tried to be, living under the internet's microscope meant always being judged. Yet Adam couldn't just step away. The empire he built had momentum of its own. Products to ship, videos promised to sponsors, events scheduled, fans expecting him to show up with a smile. He was trapped by his own success. So he did the only thing he knew, kept moving forward, foot on the gas, hoping that somehow it would all balance out. For a lifelong car fanatic like Adam LZ, the ultimate dream and challenge was to go pro in drifting. Formula Drift FD was the premier league, a motorsport circus of smoke and style where the best drifters on the planet battled head to head. It's one thing to slide around your own compound for a YouTube video, it's another to compete under the intense pressure of a professional series. In 2019, Adam decided to chase that dream. He earned his way into the Formula Drift Pro circuit, shocking some skeptics who never imagined a YouTube guy could hang with seasoned pros. Now, he had to prove he truly belonged. From day one on the FD grid, the competitive pressure was like nothing he'd experienced. Picture this: Adam, helmet on, sitting in a 900 horsepower Nissan Silvia S15, staged at Long Beach's starting line. To his left and right are drifting legends he idolized as a teen: Chris Forsberg, Frederick Osbo, Vaughn Gittin Jr. The lights count down, engines scream, and in a flash, he's hurtling towards the first clipping point, millimeters from a concrete wall, trying to impress the judges and fans and avoid total disaster. Every run could make or break his reputation. Every mistake felt magnified 100 times over. Behind the scenes, Adam had built his own Formula D team. Crew chief, mechanics, spotters, many of them close friends from his YouTube life, now thrust into the big leagues with him. Team dynamics were tested in the fire of competition. When things went wrong, and they did, tensions flared. A mistimed suspension setup, a misheard radio call, a spare part not packed for a trip, small errors that on casual drift days were no big deal, now caused heated late night meetings and soul searching. Adam wasn't just a friend anymore. He was the team owner and driver whose career was on the line. How do you tell your buddy he messed up when you're both running on 3 hours of sleep and a championship is slipping away? These were new, painful lessons in leadership that Adam had to learn fast. The physical toll was huge too. He was flying coast to coast for the FD season, hauling with the team to each city, competing all weekend under scorching sun or pouring rain, shaking countless fans' hands, then red-eye flights back to Florida to film fresh content on Monday. By mid-season, exhaustion was Adam's constant companion. He would strap into the car with sore muscles and tired eyes, running on caffeine and sheer willpower, and still, he loved it. Part of him was living out a fantasy, and he wasn't about to quit, but love alone couldn't shield him from burnout forever. A turning point came during an FD event that was supposed to be a high point. In a dramatic weekend, Adam clinched his first Formula Drift podium finish, a moment that validated all the doubters, a moment of triumph he had dreamed of. Cameras caught him on the podium spraying champagne, that trademark big grin on his face. Fans online erupted in praise, hashtag LZ Army trending with excitement. It looked like Adam LZ had finally conquered the motorsport world, yet behind that victorious smile was a man on the brink. In the days leading up to that win, Adam's personal life and professional stress had collided in the worst way. Rumors swirled that his relationship with fellow drifter and YouTuber Collete Davis was in trouble. The two had been a beloved power couple in the drift scene, often seen working on cars together, supporting each other at events, even co-hosting videos from the LZ compound. They seemed like a perfect match of passion and drive, but as Adam's FD season intensified, cracks began to show. At one round, eagle-eyed fans noticed Collete wasn't by Adam's side as usual. No cheering in the pits, no celebratory hugs. Instead, she stood apart, focusing on her own race efforts. Social media went into a frenzy of speculation. Imagine trying to focus on competing at the highest level while thousands of people online dissect your love life in real time. The emotional strain was enormous. It all came to a head one sweltering weekend at Englishtown. Adam was chasing a championship and Collete was battling in a support series. That same weekend, the couple quietly decided to end their relationship. They kept it private at first. There was a job to do, but anyone who looked closely could see something was off. Adam won the event, taking home a glorious victory, but when the champagne settled, he had no partner to celebrate with. Success and sadness hand in hand. He later shared with fans that they had decided to part ways amicably, saying they grew in different directions. There was no explosive drama between them, but it was a heartbreak nonetheless. And doing it all under the gaze of millions made it that much harder. This wasn't Adam's first public breakup either. A few years prior, his marriage with Nicole had quietly unraveled, leading to a divorce in 2018 that left him reeling. Nicole had been in so many of his early videos that fans felt like they knew her. When things fell apart, the internet treated it like a TV show twist. Everyone had an opinion or theory. Adam had tried to keep that split as private as possible, simply telling his audience that they had decided to separate, asking for understanding. But the gossip mill churned out rumors of infidelity and betrayal, which tore at Adam's heart. He not only lost a partner, he lost the simple privacy to mourn that relationship away from prying eyes. Instead, he faced comments and questions about it daily. Now facing a second major heartbreak with Collete, someone who was not only his partner but a key member of his automotive world, Adam felt the walls closing in again. How many hits could one person take and keep going? It was the darkest chapter yet in his journey of building an empire. He had fortune, fame, trophies, but felt profoundly alone under the weight of it all. By this point, Adam LZ's life was like a fishbowl, completely on display. Fans showed up at the LZ compound gate hoping to catch a glimpse of him or get a selfie as if it were a theme park. Every tweet he posted became a news story on car forums. Every rival and competition wanted to take down the famous YouTuber, and if Adam ever lost a tandem battle or made a driving error, haters would crow that he was just an entertainer, not a real driver. He lived under constant high expectations. To be the fearless entrepreneur, the perfect role model, the unbeatable racer, it's an impossible standard for anyone to maintain. Online criticism that once barely scratched his thick skin now started to cut deep when combined with his fatigue and personal troubles. If he missed an upload schedule, people said he was getting lazy or falling off. If he looked less enthusiastic on camera one day, dozens of comments speculated that he'd lost his passion. Little did they know the spark was still there, but the fuel tank was dangerously close to empty. Adam admits in rare candid moments that he sometimes felt like he was living for the approval of strangers and suffocating under it. The very fans that lifted him up could also unknowingly apply crushing pressure. Privacy became a luxury Adam longed for, but how do you put the genie back in the bottle? He had chosen to share so much of his life for the sake of his dreams. At the height of his fame, Adam LZ discovered what truly mattered. Not the engines, not the empire, but the man in the mirror. In the wake of his Englishtown victory and simultaneous breakup, Adam took a step back to reevaluate his life's direction. He realized he had been sprinting full speed for years, never pausing to process one chapter before leaping to the next. The burnout, the broken relationships, the mental strain, these were all symptoms of a deeper issue. Adam needed to find balance or risk losing himself completely. So for one of the first times in his career, he hit the brakes, not entirely. He was still Adam LZ after all, and sitting still isn't in his nature. But he began delegating more and trusting his team. He hired extra hands to manage LZMFG operations, freeing himself from sweating every minor merch drop detail. He brought on skilled mechanics and engineers to lead car builds, so he could focus on driving and content only he could create. And he learned to say no occasionally, turning down some event invites, spacing out video projects to protect his sanity. It wasn't easy. The fear that everything might collapse without his constant input was hard to shake, but slowly he saw that the empire could run without him sacrificing his soul to it daily. On the Formula Drift front, Adam continued to compete fiercely, but with a new perspective. He acknowledged publicly that being a pro driver and a content creator at the same time is a mental tightrope, and he applauded others in the sport who helped him adapt. Fellow drivers who once saw him as an outsider came to respect his dedication. In turn, Adam started to feel like he did belong, not because of fame, but because he'd paid his dues in blood, sweat, and tears. And those painful personal chapters, they taught Adam lessons he'd carry forward. He and Nicole eventually found their own paths. She stepped away from the limelight and he respected that, keeping their past in the past. With Collete, even after the breakup, they showed maturity and kept things professional at events, refusing to let gossip define them. Heartbreak humbled Adam, but also made him more compassionate. He became a quiet advocate for mental health among his peers, reminding younger YouTubers and racers that it's okay to admit you're struggling and to take time for yourself. This is the untold story Adam rarely shares, that building an empire nearly broke him, but it also made him who he is. Every empire has its price. Every legend has its scars. Adam LZ chased a dream and met his demons along the way, but he wouldn't trade a second of it, because the darkest nights forge the brightest stars, and Adam LZ is still burning bright. Until next time, tuna no crust, pedal down, no regrets.